Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is our bi-weekly hangout. In order to get here to this hangout, you need to be a member of Stunhanger. Go to at the bench. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is our bi-weekly hangout. In order to get here to this hangout, you need, there we go. Yeah, I'm guilty. I did it. In order to get here, you need to go to Stunhanger, click on the link. Sometimes you need a passcode, but it's on that link. And I will post that up right now. Let's see here. We'll post that. And it is there now. And I have to go here. Back this way. Contact. Too many buttons to push. Okay, content. The live. Let me turn this on. We want to make sure to save the chat. All right, that is something that's done now. Go back this way. Okay, I can look at, hey, good evening, Steve. All right. Oh, shoot. Got that coming up. I don't want that. That's some kind of AVG shit. We want that. All right. Okay, I'm good to go. Tonight, what I'm working on is my project. Got quite the mess here on the bench. This is a foam stabilizer. Seems like it's picking up weight. I can always build these lighter if I have good wood, but we're not putting good wood in this airplane. We're putting mediocre wood in it. And it shows. Hopefully we get somebody coming here and join me in a minute. And by now, people should be used to the time. And I'm always on time. I try to be. I think this weekend's going to be a field day in the shop. Just no model airplane building, just till I get the shop cleaned out. I've got to do a couple of jobs. So needed to go to Lowe's and get some painter's tape. Didn't do that today. See if we can use this. That fiberglass is sticky stuff. Let me check and make sure the link is on Stunhanger, because normally Well, no, usually it takes 15 minutes. Then we'll look here in a minute. So we get 2 hours on this tonight instead of one. I can build these for about 2 3/4 ounces with balsa wood, with solid wood. I don't know what these are going to weigh. And that includes, hey, there we go, Gary. You awake?
You talking to me, Sparky?
Yeah.
Hi. You and me, buddy, huh?
Yeah, that's it so far. I'm working on my 81 lumber wagon.
How'd that flag streak come out?
Came out good. It's sitting in the corner. I'm gonna give it away probably next week at our or the week of our contest. I got a guy I'm gonna give it to. He's a UPS pilot.
Ah,
He was getting back into control line. He ain't got nothing to fly, so
be good. A good one to start with.
I don't know about the engine, you know. Probably not a good starting engine for a beginner. But that's what I got.
What are you making? Stabilizer?
Yeah, this is a stabilizer. You didn't see my lumber wagon that I built?
No, I've been out of town for the last 10 days.
Let me get the wing here. This is going to be a heavy airplane.
So you got a cutout for a fuel tank there. Is that what that's for?
Yeah, it's got 3 coats of dope on it. I'm going to cover it with Jap tissue, but it's already 18 ounces. I mean, that's pretty heavy. In order to make my target weight, I got to build the fuselage and the stabilizer less than 16 ounces.
Hmm.
And this here already feels pretty portly. I've, I scraped all the glue off of it. It's not like it had a whole lot of glue on it. Of course, I didn't use my lightest wood either. But as Gary Forbes says it'll probably fly just fine. It'll be mid-60s.
What do you got to put in for a motor?
Super Tiger.
Okay. I like those.
Yeah. But I feel I have the best luck with.
Yeah, me too. I mean, they start very easily and they just run like a sewing machine. They just keep on going. And
Do you have any of the Gardner Super Tigers?
no,
I would suggest you get one. They they run much better than the stock ones, which the stock ones are already really good. But I've yet to have a stock one that I can spinner flip to get it to start. This will just start by going like that.
what motor is that?
This is a Super Tiger 60 with ABC liner in it.
Oh, I see. Okay. You have trouble getting the liner in at all?
No, no. I'm a mechanic. It's pretty easy. I mean, let's see how many, there's 3 moving parts in that, and I put Harleys together. They got thousands of moving parts. Yeah, pretty simple.
No, I had a piston and sleeves assembly for a Super Tiger 46 many years ago, and I had a hell of a time trying to get into the motor.
Getting them apart is what the trick is. But there's a secret to that. You got to pull on a 60. I did my Super Tiger 46 too. I guess, yeah, you got to pull a wrist pin out of that too. To get the wrist pin out, use the 256 tap, and that'll pull the wrist pin.
Yeah, I think I ended up doing that.
You know, kind of like an easy out.
But the sleeve was too tight for the case. That was the problem.
Just take some sandpaper and sand the case. You know, I put,
That's what Jim Demerel told me I should do.
that's what I did. Now he passed away, right?
Yeah, just last week or just a few days ago.
Just before I started this stream, I was watching 50 people that passed away this year, celebrities that you wouldn't believe who's passed away this year. Louis Gossett Jr.
Oh,
and I mean just a whole lot of big names. Just reminds us we ain't here long.
yep. I just got back from Ohio. And now I'm getting ready to go down to Lynn Boss's tomorrow. He's having a fun fly on his concrete circle. So,
What was in Ohio?
well, we celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary.
Oh, did you go to the museum?
That's a good idea. No, we went to the Ohio State football game because we were married at Ohio State.
Oh,
And my wife's a big football fan. She went to Ohio State. I did not. I went to Purdue. I was a black sheep of the family. But she found out there was a opening day football game on our anniversary, so that worked out pretty nice.
is that an Ivy League school? Purdue?
What? Purdue?
Purdue. Yeah.
No, they're Big Ten.
Okay. I went to the school of hard knocks. No, I did graphic art today at U. But that's about it. And I always studied stuff that didn't do anything for me. But it helped my modeling career. Like today, we went we went to the thrift store. My old lady likes to go to the thrift store and crap around, look for all the junk. And I bought this, and she says, "What are you going to do with that?" I only paid $1 for it. This
Listen, I just threw one of those away.
this is part of this airplane. It's the mold buck. I got a hot wire bow down there. I'll
Oh,
cut
I
this.
see. You're going to use the styrofoam.
Yeah,
Okay.
for $1. I mean, that's 2-inch thick. For a buck. They had about 4 or 5 of them there, and I was thinking about maybe I ought to buy them all. So but I got so much, where do you store this stuff? I got to get it cut up and get it put away.
Yeah, Bob Hunt's video, he buys that styrofoam by this pickup truck load. I don't know where he stores it. In his garage, I guess.
I got no place to store it.
Well, he's out of business now, so he probably doesn't have to worry about it anymore. But
Yeah.
anyway, we went back to Ohio State, went to the football game, and visited a lot of family. We still got a lot of family in the Columbus area, Central Ohio.
Ohio's a good state. When Jerry was alive and I worked in Dayton, it wasn't bad at all.
And who was alive?
Jerry Hop, remember the
Yeah.
farm?
Oh, okay. I didn't remember him.
That's who I worked for. Well, the story goes, the year that I built my shoestring scale model, took it to Brodax and competed in scale at Brodax and got a first place. I won that meet.
Oh, nice.
And on the way back, I was going to stop at the Nats. Well, the Nats, there was a kind of a layover between Brodak and the Nats. So Jerry lived in Dayton. He said, "Well, stop and stay, over with me." I said, "Okay, great." He built truck bodies. And so I said, "You got anything I can do? I'll work for you while I'm here." So I worked for him for the week or whatever I was there. I went to the Nats and came home. Well, he's always had trouble getting people to work. You can't get people to work anymore, and the ones that do, they don't know anything. I never built truck bodies, but it ain't that I'm a welder and fabricator and whatever. I can read plans and read a tape measure.
Yeah, I worked in a truck body factory when I was in college.
And so I went home. About 2 weeks later, he called me up and said, "You want to come back and work for me?" I said, "Well, I got a house here." He said, "Well, I'll get you an apartment." So he paid my apartment. I worked for him for 5 years till he died.
I knew you were in Dayton. I didn't realize it was that long.
I went back and forth, on the weekends. Toward the end there, I just stayed in Dayton, though there was so much work. Shit, so much work to do.
So when's the Tulsa contest?
End of the month here.
Okay, you going to that?
Yep. What the hell's grinding it? It's up here. Something digging. Yeah, we're going.
I keep looking at going down there, but it's like a day and a half drive one way for a 2-day contest.
Pretty good time. We go over to Joe's hangar and have barbecue or whatever.
Yeah,
It's Bob Reeves' wife in her front yard. It's a pretty nice. They got 2 circles. But be prepared for wind in Oklahoma.
that's what I hear.
See, I'm a little different. If it's too windy to fly my airplane, I ain't flying. I don't need the trophy.
Yeah, me either. I'm not that much of a competitor. I competed all my life at work.
I went back from a Tulsa contest with my airplane smashed up one year, and that won't happen again. I had a big F-14 looking like PA-75 jet, and wind came up. I couldn't get enough up to make the corner. It hit the ground.
Was this at Tulsa?
Yeah. So needless to say that I won't be doing that again. That's another bad thing about heavy airplanes.
The weather's been beautiful here since I got back. It's been really nice. I haven't gotten out flying yet, but I've only been back for 2 days. So,
You're in Colorado, right?
right.
How close are you to Aurora? That's where my brother lives there.
I'm going there tomorrow.
Got
Well,
the
Lynn
mic-
Boss lives in Watkins, which is just east of Denver. And they're right on the edge of the Aurora city line there.
You got the migrant crisis there.
That's what I keep hearing about.
Did you see the videos of them going in the hotels with assault weapons?
Yeah, I thought that was a apartment building, but
Yeah, apartments.
Gary Sinclair.
Hey, good. He's connecting. Must have low bandwidth.
Earth to Gary.
You're trying, Gary. There he is. You're connecting to audio now. You need to feed them Mexicans some more refried beans. Crank the handle faster.
Looks like he's having a problem.
Now you got to unmute yourself, Gary.
Okay.
There you are.
Okay.
Okay.
Marietta, Ohio has checked in.
We're here.
I just got back from Columbus, Gary.
Oh, did you? What's going on up there? Or out there or in here? Or what?
We went to the first game of the season for the Buckeyes. And we celebrated our
Oh,
50th
okay.
wedding anniversary on the same day. So,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, saw a lot of relatives and friends. And
Yeah, I think a good wedding anniversary gift, seeing as you're in Ohio, would be stopped by the Air Force Museum. She
I
loved
did that last year. Last year I was driving back from Brodex, and so I went and stayed with my sister-in-law and her husband in Dayton, just south of Dayton. And then I went over to the Air Force Museum and spent Father's Day over there.
perfect.
Yeah, that was cool. That's a nice way to spend Father's Day if you can't be with your family. That place is really amazing. When I first went to that museum in 1960 or so, and my dad took me down. We lived up south of Cleveland, and they just had all the planes sitting out on the runway in the parking area out there, weather exposed to the weather, and they had part of one hangar. They had some displays inside there, but that was about it.
You follow Kermit? Do you follow Kermit Meeks?
Kermit?
Yeah, do you follow him?
No, who's Kermit?
You gotta look him up on YouTube. He's got a whole lot of airplanes, real airplanes. And Terry Forbes sent me a message about we know where all the balsa wood's going, and I didn't know it, but they're building those mosquitoes with balsa wood. It's part of their,
Mosquitoes?
yep, plywood. It's kind of like 64th plywood sandwich. It's a 64th skin, and then balsa wood, and then 64th plywood, and that's what they make the fuselage out of. So that's where all the balsa wood's going.
Is this an RC plane?
No, real airplane.
Full size?
Yeah.
They're making more mosquitoes?
Well, yes, somebody is, like a Confederate organization. They're de Havilland.
Yeah, not called the Commemorative Air Force. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really neat looking. You got to see Kermit Meeks. He's got spads and Fokkers and all kind of weird stuff.
Where does he live?
I'm not sure. All over, I guess. He flies all over. Got airplanes in Oshkosh. They're on display. That's where his de Havilland is at Oshkosh on display.
That place I want to go is there's a new museum. I don't relatively new anyway, up just outside the Canton Akron Airport. Have you ever been up there, Gary?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think I've been to that.
I can't remember I can't remember what it's called, but it was not there when I was growing up. I know that.
I can't think of what. I know they had a meet up there a long time ago. I know we got
Yeah,
to
I
go
think
to.
I saw that somewhere that they had a contest up there one day.
Hmm.
They have when I was a kid, we got a tour through the Goodyear rubber factory in Akron for a field trip. And
Oh,
they took us to the Goodyear Museum, and they had a cockpit of a Corsair that Goodyear used to make after the war. And it was an FG-1, I guess is what they call them. And now the museum has that cockpit, and they're building the whole airplane around it.
oh,
Quite an endeavor.
Okay.
yeah.
Let me look this up, see if I can find this.
I'm surprised John's not in here.
John?
Mm-hmm.
Miller.
Miller.
Oh, yeah. I've been communicating with him this week.
all scattered out all over, aren't we?
Well, it ain't like there's a whole lot of us left.
Did you ever hear from John, Sparky?
Yes, I did.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. It only took 3 weeks. Yeah, I heard from him. He's still alive. That's about all I can say.
Yeah. Is he doing much building,
that?
or is he doing much building, or is he kind of out of it for a while?
He's in and out of the hospital.
Uh, yep. You can't build in there.
Some health problems.
Yeah, this museum's called MAPS, M-A-P-S. I'm not sure what that stands for. Anyway, I have to get there sometime. You said John was in the hospital?
Yeah, he's in and out of the hospital. He's got some problems. You know, he wasn't really all that healthy to begin with.
Well, he tried to electrocute himself twice.
No, not John Miller. John
Oh,
Jordan.
who?
John Jordan.
Oh, I don't know him, do I?
Saturday at John's. You ever watch them?
No.
Oh.
My Dayton flying buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to go back and kind of watch some of them. That was pretty neat. Yeah.
We did all kind of stupid stuff, like we did tests on silk span strength versus Japanese tissue and carbon fiber. It's all still there.
Yeah, and you guys kind of worked off each other and shared stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah.
We always shared a hotel room when we went to contests. I don't have nobody to do that. But, well, Steve, me and Steve.
How far is it to Tulsa from St. Louis?
Oh, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 hours, somewhere in there.
Well, that's not too bad.
No, it's a 1-day drive. When I was back in the 90s, when I was going to more contests, I took a compass and I got a map and I laid out a 500-mile radius around St. Louis, and that's where I would go to contests.
Okay.
They had them down in New Albany, Indiana, and Paducah, Kentucky. Wherever 5 miles hit, or 500 miles hit, that's where I go. But now, cost of gas is so ridiculous. I think we're down to 250 miles.
If I put a 500-mile radius around Fort Collins, Colorado, there wouldn't be any contests. Closest one I go to now is Las Vegas, and that's 800 miles.
Where's the knuckleheads?
Nice. How we doing?
Hey,
Hey,
Canada's here.
yeah.
Canada's here.
That's here.
How's everybody doing?
How you doing, man? Good.
Pretty good.
So far, so good, Mark. Whoops. What happened here? My picture disappeared. There we go.
I'm
There
building
we
my
go,
own
full
lumber
screen.
wagon, Len.
What's that, Sparky?
I'm building my own lumber wagon.
Oh no, don't do that.
Oh yeah.
Don't do that. No lumber wagons.
Well,
Can't
it's a
afford them. Balsa's too expensive to be building lumber wagons.
yeah, it's a foam wing, and I'm getting rid of all my RC wood.
Okay, well that'll do it. You got to use it at some point. Either that or you're giving it away, and who can afford to do that anymore?
Yeah.
It just gets ridiculous.
My finished wing weighs 18 ounces. Gonna be a heavy airplane.
Yeah, but what are you going to use for power? Tiger 60?
Yeah.
Well, you'll have lots of power. You'll be all right. Just
I
keep the
expect
rest of it light.
I expect this airplane will be 62 to 65 ounces.
No problem. Tiger
You're only
60 will
what,
pull that,
500
no
feet
problem.
above sea level there, or less?
I'm at the same altitude as the Nats, I think.
Is where?
The Nats,
Oh,
Indianapolis.
I think they're about 900.
I think we're a little lower than that. It'll
I
work
got to
okay.
get back down to the building table soon too. I haven't started building anything yet. I've been out flying, so I haven't been building.
Good show at the Worlds. You did really good. You
Thank you, Sparky. Yeah, I thought I flew the best I could, and considering it's tough competition. I mean, those guys are all so good. It's like, holy crap. So I did my best and I got all my flights in, didn't have any catastrophes. So I'm happy with my showing.
when I was watching you fly, it's just like watching me fly. So I know where I place.
Yeah, well, you and I are pretty close, that's for sure. We fly fairly evenly. When you're flying your best and I'm flying my best, we're very close.
Yeah. I knew damn well I couldn't beat Lu Zhang though. Ain't no way.
Not today. Not
Yeah.
today.
Not
Me
ever in my
neither.
whole not ever in my whole
Well,
flying career.
her, her, uh, her, is that the girl you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, her corners look so nice. I mean, they look just sweet. Those corners were just so nice.
Do you know why she didn't score
Unbelievable.
good?
Why is that?
Because her airplane didn't go like this.
Yeah, it didn't waggle enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
didn't have enough waggle.
they want them to go like that. They turn so damn short they stall.
Yeah, they're supposed to.
Hers
So,
were just
so Len, if you're going to be an international competitor, you can have Naomi get you a shark.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it again. Once is enough for me. That's enough of that. Well, I played it, I enjoyed it, and that's the game. I can't see me ever doing that again. It's just too expensive, and I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity, and I'm going to leave it at that. I I just yeah, I don't think I would ever do it again.
It was
It's
a hard
very
2 weeks
stressful
for
to
me
Hmm?
even.
Very stressful. I found it a very stressful week, especially right after coming off the Nats. It was made it even more stressful because it's like just too much of it over too short a period of time. But I was very lucky that my airplane worked well for the whole 2 weeks. I had no issues with that model. The engine worked perfectly every flight. There was no issues. And that's very rare.
And at least it wasn't electric.
No, it wasn't electric. That's for sure. It was not electric. I can see, but after watching it for a couple of weeks, I can sure see the advantages of electric. I can see those advantages. I
Yeah,
get
you
it.
don't have to know anything. Just push the button and go.
Oh yeah, and yeah, the equipment is, I mean, yeah, sometimes the electric equipment fails too, but not as often as the glow stuff. The glow stuff, you're really you're really at the mercy. You know, all you need is a little chunk of crap to come out of your tank or something and into that filter, and all bets are off after that.
Yeah,
Well,
but
you can't control your motor to speed up and slow down like the electric guys can.
There's too many with the glow on that level. There's just too many things that can go wrong. You know, you can walk to the line and the plug can pop on you. Anything can happen. Like there's just too many things that can go wrong real quick and have it go south.
same with electric, because Paul Walker had problems.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
I mean, they're not immune.
No, they're not. I was there 2 years ago when he had trouble at the Nats. I was there, and it sucks. When it goes bad, it goes all bad. But lucky for me, it didn't go bad at the Worlds. Everything went so smooth. I mean, my motor performed absolutely flawlessly every time. Walked up to it, did the same motion every single time, the same number of flips, the same number of everything. Hit the prop once or twice, and she's running. I never
Nice.
touched the needle valve for 8 flights. I never even touched the needle valve.
Just how it's supposed to work.
And I never found that the plane was too fast or too slow on any day. And that's pretty rare. It just seemed good every flight. The airplane performed better than the guy on the handle by far. And that's the way you want it. You want your airplane to be able to fly better than you can. That way there's always room for you to improve.
There's no excuses.
Yeah, no excuses. My flights were the best I could put in with what I had in my abilities, because there was nothing I could have wanted more from the airplane. The airplane did what it was supposed to do. It was flying well. It was flying at the right speed. It was turning well. I had no problems with the plane. Any of the problems were because the guy on the handle
Couldn't do
made
it.
some mistakes.
Yeah. Did you watch my flights in N30?
And I watched one of them for sure. It was a good flight.
Do you
Very
know
good
that?
flight.
Do you know the one judge gave me, well, I lost by 200-point difference between the two judges. 200 points.
That's a lot of difference.
Yeah, there's some big problems there.
I looked at my N30 flights and they were 100 points apart. And I didn't understand that either. But you know what? As much as we can say what we want about the judging and we can say this and say that, the reality of it is, unless I'm willing to go sit in that chair and do it, I can't say too much. I mean, they're out there doing the best they can too.
Hold on a second. Mike, you got something running?
Uh,
A lot of static coming from there.
just my battery charger and my fan, which I turned on low, which let me turn it off. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, so it was my fan. Usually when I put it on low, it's not a problem, but
You
I guess
changed
I'll just be hot tonight.
you changed the location of the fan?
Well, if it ain't
How's it
blowing
going, Mike?
on me, I don't feel it. So, what's up, fellas?
How you doing?
Working on some RC stuff.
Good stuff.
Sam and I are. Well, I'm supposed to be in Detroit right now for combat all weekend. You know, they're flying fast, slow,
Right.
half phase, speed limit, and F2D. And we
Yeah.
usually go to this one, but my back is jacked up. I screwed my back up after I got home from the Nats.
Oh no.
I got some medicine. I was on the mend, but as soon as the medicine ran out, it started screwed up again. And it's just, it'd be hard for me to drive 9 hours each way to go to a contest.
Exactly.
So we're
Yeah.
going to skip it. And it's going to be pretty
Get
cool.
healthy.
Cool tomorrow. It's going to be one of the first cool days, like only 75 degrees tomorrow. So Sam and I are going to take advantage and go out and fly some RC and maybe a little combat.
Good
Let him.
stuff.
He wants to fly a Nelson 36 for the first time, fast combat. So
Wow.
I'm going to turn him loose on that. And I'm just doing some repairs to some RC planes and I tuned you
Cool.
guys in on YouTube, was watching. I thought, shit, I'll join in. See you guys for a minute.
That's awesome.
Bet
Wanted
Sam will
to-
be just fine with the Nelson.
Yeah. We've been waiting for him to bulk up, man, for him to get over 100 pounds. Because,
Well, he's there now.
he's over 100. He's over 100 now. I was waiting for him
Oh,
to
yeah.
get over 100 pounds because he's over 6 foot tall now, but he was still
Thanks.
literally
Oh.
like 6 foot and 99 pounds forever. He's like a $112 now, so I think he can hang on to a Nelson. So I'll have some video. I'll shoot some video of it, and we'll
Cool.
see what happens. I did want to get on here. Dick Imhoff passed away yesterday.
I heard that sucks.
Yeah, Dick,
What a great guy. What a great guy.
awesome guy, man. Longtime Michigan guy, and he's flown everything there is. He was a big speed guy, Fox racing, the slow rat,
Awesome.
which isn't
Yeah.
slow. Did a lot
No.
of carrier, flew some combat, and then flew a lot of stunt in his last years. He battled cancer for about the last 12 years, and it
Oh,
finally
man.
just got the better of him. So, yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that Dick passed, and he was an awesome guy. He built a lot of designs called the Super Spider, the Checkmate, and the Showtime, which, Len, I think you have a Checkmate if you still have it.
I don't have it anymore. It went to Stuart, and I don't know if he still has it or not. I think he pranged it up. It was
Okay,
a great
that's-
airplane, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
He,
We
yeah.
we still have a Super Spider that he gave Sam when Sam was about 8 years old, and we have 2 Showtimes that he gave Sam. They're all based on the Super Spider wing. I think, and not the Checkmate. Checkmate's a little wider. But anyway, he gave away so many of those airplanes to kids and newbies and people. He always had 3, 4 airplanes he gave away at the Nats every year for beginner and
It's awesome.
anybody
Wow.
that needed something. And he did a lot of engine work for people. And he was just a lot of fun to be around. Good guy, man. Real good guy. Good attitude. And
What's his name, Mike?
Dick Imhoff or Rich. Rich Imhoff was his name, but he went by Dick most of the time. He was from the Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo area in Michigan.
I might have
So,
seen the name somewhere. I don't think I've ever met him.
He went to the Nats every year. He went to Brodax every year until he started getting sick. And back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, when there was a contest just about every weekend in Michigan somewhere, he was either in Detroit,
Yeah.
Kalamazoo, or Grand Rapids hanging out. So all the Detroit guys know him. I know Pat and Ivan know him pretty well. Len, you met him.
Oh, I know.
obviously.
Yeah, because the last time he went to Brodax, I hung out with him a lot that week. He was great. Just awesome.
Yeah.
Just an awesome guy.
Yeah, good guy. Good guy. So he'll be missed for sure.
For sure. That's too bad, Mike.
Are you anybody from Windsor heading over to Detroit this weekend?
I haven't heard who's going. I haven't been talking to most of the guys. I've been busy out flying, and we had to run to Toronto for a couple of funerals this week, so we've been busy. I'm
sure Mackenzie's will be there. They're
they probably
Detroit-
will be. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
they're Detroit royalty. They always come.
Oh, for
so
sure.
They're
I'm
there
sure
all
they'll
the
be
time.
there.
And
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be down there.
the couple of Russians that live over there in Canada. Is it?
Oh, I know who you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Um,
Sam talks to him all the time on
oh.
Facebook, and his name always
come on,
escapes
come on,
me.
come on, come on, come on.
Is it Vadim?
Vadim, yeah, Vadim and Max. Yeah, Vadim
Yes.
and Max might be
Vadim
there,
and
yes.
Max. Vadim and Max. Yes,
Yes,
they
for
always
sure.
come too. So
For sure.
I talked to Ronnie today. They went out and mowed the circle this morning, and then they had practice day today, getting all their stuff ready. They're supposed to have really good weather this weekend. The field's not flooded, and the circle's looking good. So good for them. I wish I was there. I really do, because I enjoy going to that contest. I can't do. It'd be 1,200 miles in 3 days up there and back. and
Too much with a bad back.
it's
can't
too
do
much
that.
for the bad back. So
For
we're gonna
sure.
skip it.
That Bob
When my
McDonald
back's bugging.
contest?
Go ahead, Sparky.
Is that Bob McDonald's contest? The one
No, this is a combat
Combat.
contest. It's the Detroit Combat Team, the remnants of the old Strathmore guys. They had Bob's contest at Signal Seekers a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that was in July. I think
That
they
was
did
in
it in July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Yeah, I think it was before the Nats even.
They did it early. They did it early because of all the Nat stuff going on.
Mhm,
Unfortunately, they didn't get a very good turnout. Brad and I were there, and there was only a few people, but we had fun. We had a good time.
Well, there's a whole lot going on
Right.
next week. I mean, you got 2 weeks of the Worlds and the Nats and shit.
Oh yeah, exactly.
How
So it
much
was
airplane can a guy take?
yeah, exactly. But we went over just because it was close, and like I say, it was only a couple of weeks before the Nats, so it's
Yeah,
like
it's a good little
you can only
tune-up
go
for
to
you.
so many things. Yeah, too many things. Too many guys couldn't make another one. You know.
Yeah, but it's a
But we
good tune-up for you, and it's close. It's only a couple
It
hours
was
for you to
exactly.
get over
It was a
there.
good. Unfortunately, we only went for the Sunday. We had a fun fly. We were here in Ontario on the Saturday, and on the Sunday, unfortunately, it was pretty windy, so we only got one round in. So, but we had fun anyway, hanging out with the guys.
If that guy from Canada comes down, you just might as well roll up your lines. I can't remember his name.
Constantine,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's
yeah,
good.
Constantine,
He's in a
good
different
flyer.
part of Canada, though, isn't he, Len?
He moves around a lot. He's all over the place. His actual home is not too far from Toronto.
Okay.
But,
Yeah,
you know,
well,
like-
Toronto to Detroit would be a long way to go for a stunt contest.
Yeah, exactly. So he
Yeah.
didn't come.
Well,
But,
I've seen him down there. I mean, you got 2 Canadian guys that came down, and they were just, I mean, they were a cut above, just like the world guy. I think I don't. Where does Kim Doherty live? He lives on the west coast of Canada, doesn't he?
He lives in Toronto. He's one of our guys. He lives in Toronto.
Maybe that's who comes down. He was
He
real
doesn't.
good.
He hasn't been flying as much in the last few years, though.
I'm talking about 4 or 5 years ago when I used to go to that contest when I was in Dayton.
Okay, yeah. He probably used to go down back then.
To the nut factory.
Well, Kim's a good flyer. He's got the ability. He can fly. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Well, don't everybody talk at once.
I'm working.
Usually everybody's either trying to talk at once or nobody talks at all.
Yeah.
Well, I got to get
Always
off here
the way,
pretty
so.
soon and get ready for the fun fly tomorrow.
Fun fly tomorrow. That's cool. We had
Yeah.
one last weekend.
Lynn Boss is having one. He's got the only concrete circle in Colorado. I think it's probably the best concrete circle in the country.
Oh, cool. Better than Muncie?
Yes.
That's pretty damn good then. Those circles at the Worlds were pretty darn good this year, I'll tell you.
Well, it's concrete, not blacktop.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yes. That is different. All right.
He had it poured like 20 years ago.
Okay.
It's still in really good shape.
The only other place I think is better than Muncie right now is Jonal.
Oh, the
Never
grass
been down
circles
there.
there. I've heard they've been amazing. I heard they're amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Naomi and I would love to go there, but I don't think we can afford to do it. We're gonna see. You never
Well, you
know.
better have
Maybe
a
one
camper
day.
if you're going.
Have which?
A camper if you're going.
Yes. Is there no hotels close?
No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you're looking about a 30-minute drive to a hotel, Lynn, each way.
All right.
So,
Yeah, it's pretty
Lynn,
far.
here's Lynn Boss's circle. I think I showed this
Check this
before.
out.
Yeah, hold on, let me make
Let me share.
but yeah, Sparky has it right, Len. Camping is the way to go. I mean, you can tent camp because they got showers and stuff there.
Right. Okay.
It's just like
Okay.
at Muncie, but
Yeah.
my $2,000 pop up really paid for itself this year because I used it at Jonal and as I was at the Nats for a week, so
Okay.
it is almost paid for itself
Mhm.
in hotel fees.
There lots of food on site? Oh, wow.
There is, yeah. Whoa, where is this?
That is beautiful. Oh my God.
That's Lynn Boss's house. He lives about 15 miles east of Denver. out on the flatland.
That's his house?
That's
Wow.
his personal circle in his
Backyard.
backyard.
Does he got a
My
Do you
God.
get
helicopter?
the
Does he
fly-
land there?
What's that?
Does he own a helicopter? He lands there?
No, not that I know of.
Do you get to fly there, Mark?
Well, when he invites me down,
Wow. What's this guy's name?
Lynn Boss.
Lynn Boss.
Yeah, he's a scale flyer.
Oh, scale guy. Okay. Okay.
He's got a
He's a
beautiful
boss, all right.
P-47 if I can find a picture of it here.
Man, that's
Yeah, here it is.
That's all right.
that's if
Here's his P-47.
and that's
Wow.
that's concrete.
Yep.
Yeah, look at
That's
that.
a $80,000 circle, man.
I don't know what it cost him. He had it put in 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
That
All
is
right.
unfreaking real.
He's a nice guy. Here's
How
another
nice.
picture of there's a P-47 coming around.
How nice is he? Is he going to give it to one of us when he's done with it?
Well, I don't know
Oh
about
my
that.
God. Oh,
He's
my
a little younger than
goodness.
most of us, so I'm not sure if we'll be around when Lynn checks
That
out.
is amazing.
What does he do for a living? Concrete contractor?
No, he's some kind of an expert on automated machinery for doing wood carving and stuff.
Well, it'll be a helicopter pad after he's gone. Somebody will buy that house, and if it's in Denver, right?
That's absolutely outstanding. Wow.
And I had a satellite picture of it somewhere. You can see it from the satellite picture really clear.
Oh, I'll bet.
Every control line flyer's dream.
Well, not quite, Lynn.
Well, maybe not the combat guys. They're not going to like it too much.
Well, no, it's just you're short selling it. That's only one circle. You know, if I win the 800 million tonight, I'm going to have 4 of those on my new piece of land.
4 of those. Yeah. And host your own world champs. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Right.
This guy here that says unnamed is Lynn.
Okay.
Wow.
This is his garage. They feed us too. They give us hot dogs and beans and everything.
Wow. That is just something.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, I get to see some of the guys. We haven't been together much this year.
That's cool. When's the new airplane coming, Mark?
Well, it's been in suspended animation for about the last 6 weeks, I think.
Yeah, exactly. With the Nats and the Worlds and traveling and everything else, I'm sure.
Well, and then after I got back from the Nats, we went back out to Ohio for a little vacation. We celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary.
Cool.
And we just got back from that 2 days ago. So now I'm
Yeah,
getting
no
ready to try to
airplanes.
get back on my Bearcat again.
Cool. No,
Yeah,
I haven't
Kirkland.
been near the building table either. I haven't touched it since I got home.
My wife's very skilled at coming up with projects for me to work on that are not model airplanes. But I think well, maybe a little bit this weekend, but certainly next week I'll be getting back at it. So I still got quite a ways to go.
I'm surprised there aren't more guys on here tonight.
Well, the good guys are here, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Dennis will probably be on later.
Well, I haven't even seen most of our guys. They haven't been around much. Like we got back and I've been going out flying with Tom Knight, but I haven't seen much of Brad or Stewart or any of those guys. They just haven't been coming out. I guess they're all busy. Once they get back, they got back and they got all this stuff they got to do. So you don't see them at the field.
Don Miller got Walter Umland's permission to give me a copy of the CAD plane that he drew of this Sterling Spitfire. So he sent me that while I was out of town. I just looked at it yesterday. Pretty cool.
It's kind of neat. Is that a stunter or a scale job?
Stunter.
Oh, cool.
The old Sterling Spitfire.
Oh, yeah. I get you. All right.
Walter kitted it. John
Okay.
did the plan for him.
All right.
But he doesn't want to release the plan. He released it to me because I had him do a lot of cutting for me over the years, but
Okay.
I'm not supposed to give it to anybody else. So
Right.
anyway, I've been in touch with John for the last week and a half or so, off and on.
Anybody heard how Walter's doing?
Well, I don't know. John said he's trying to sell his business. I wish him luck with that, but
Oh.
it'd be nice if somebody picked it up, but I don't know. I think ever since I've known Walter, he's had all kinds of ailments, and
Right.
this goes back 15 years or more.
I still have one of his twister kits downstairs on the shelf. Fancherized twister.
But I haven't talked to him myself for quite a while. Last time I saw him, I think, was when he was on here last year.
Okay.
He called in one night.
It's probably the last time I saw him too, was on here.
Who we
Here,
talking
there's
to?
John.
Hi.
How you
you
doing,
guys
John?
talking about?
Hi,
I'm
cousin.
fine. Hi, cousin. Good to see you.
To see you. How you been?
Well, I just got back from playing harmonica all day with the group down at the. Got there at 8:30 this morning, and I just got back home here about a half hour ago.
So what you're telling us is you're all blown out.
Yeah.
I'm
No, I
glad
had
you
a
had
great.
fun.
Oh, I had a great time, and
I
I
can
got to do
tell
it
by the
tomorrow.
look on your face. Yes.
Yeah, I got to
That's
do it
awesome.
tomorrow too. So it's
Good for you.
it's the old state capitol days, and they're having a big festival down there, almost like a county fair. It's just huge, And besides us, they've got some real name acts over on the other stage doing music as well. I stopped on the reason I was a little late getting home. I stopped and sat for 2 hours and listened to another guy who was pretty fantastic. Played country guitar and the one man act. He did everything. Really, really interesting to watch.
That's the one thing wrong with this time of year.
What?
All of the good they're not carnivals, but all of the good
Festivals.
festivals. Hey, thank you. CRS has me bad. I can't think of words. All the good festivals happen from now till end of October.
Yeah.
And it's every weekend.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
can't go to all of them.
We got a stern wheel festival going on right now.
Oh, really?
Wheel?
Yeah, them river boats, with
Oh,
they-
yeah.
it's a big deal down there.
Cool
Oh.
deal.
They still
Gary's
have
on
the
the Ohio
gambling
River
on the
there.
stern wheelers.
What's that?
They still have the gambling on the stern wheelers.
Oh, I don't know. They might do it.
Come on, Gary.
It'd be just
Come on, Gary.
just
They used
between the
to,
boaters. It's something nothing.
they used to have it on the stern wheelers on the Mississippi and the Missouri and probably the Ohio.
Yeah.
Anywhere there was a river, they could put them on.
This is a lot of local people that's built boats.
Ah,
Of course, the big one does go through there. But
I got a question for my cousin. How's it look? You looked that over real good.
Check your email.
Oh, okay. I didn't check it yet. So
I made some adjustments to the Spitfire to make it a little more like we do things these days. So it
excellent. Excellent.
I sent you a picture to look at.
Okay.
Which Spitfire we're talking about?
The Sterling Spitfire.
Oh, I'd like
John got me the CAD model from Walter. So I've been playing with it the last day or so.
Yeah,
It's kind of addictive once you get into that.
yeah. I'd love to see your upgrades. That plane that's a very nice set of plans.
I don't know if I'm allowed to show them or not.
Yeah, you can show 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I can find it.
I'm gonna have this going in the background and just kind of listen because I got some work to do on my plane.
All right. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Let's see, at least I can turn it around over here so you can see my wonderful mess.
Oh, look at that.
Creativity at its
One of the
best.
messes has got wings on it.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of wing offset.
It's
Oh,
an
here you
awful
go,
lot of
John.
Who's on that?
Here's the
Okay.
Spitfire that's in your email.
Oh, okay. Ooh,
Pretty
ooh,
cool.
I like it
That looks
already. You
Yeah,
stretched you stretched it out a little bit.
Yeah, I stretched the nose and stretched the
Yak 9?
tail a little bit. Give it
Spitfire.
dihedral.
Oh yeah, I can see that. That looks great.
Oh, Spitfire. Okay.
Here we go.
Now, what
Very
mark
sharp.
is that? Is that the
Well, I
Yeah.
finally decided after doing lots of research on the web that it's the 22.
I was going to
what I
say
was
the
gonna say, the
22.
22.
Yeah, that can be a beautiful airplane. The only one I think is prettier is a Seafire. There's sea, but Spiteful. What was it?
Anyway, all I
Yeah.
need now is time
Well,
to
the
build it.
23 was the Seafire. The next one was the Seafire.
Okay. Well, that's great. That looks super. Looking at it, the only thing I would say is check that spinner to make sure it looks like it might be a little large. And I know that's the way they had it on the Sterling, but it might be a bigger diameter than it should be.
No, the Mark 22 had a huge spinner on it, and
Oh, did it?
I scaled it off of a plan, and this is actually a little smaller than the scale one would be.
Okay.
This,
Okay.
this is a 2.5 inch. I was surprised. I didn't realize it was such a big spinner when I got your plan and I started playing with it, and I got to the spinner and I saw it was a 2.5 inch. I said, oh,
Yeah, it's big. I like it with the dihedral. I really do. I think that gets it, puts the lead outs right. Looks like the lead outs are right about dead on.
I went back to my Vico Hurricane, which has dihedral, and I kind of stole some things off of that. It's about this much dihedral,
Yeah,
and the wing is located about where this one is.
yeah,
So,
yeah. That was the only thing that with the Sterling kit was that the wing was set low like it should be, but it was flat.
yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for getting this and
Oh,
Let me-
it's my pleasure.
give me what I could experiment with here, and I hope I'll get time someday to build this thing.
Yeah, and looks like you got the canopy more scale size than the
I
kit.
like that canopy.
Yeah,
It looks nice.
Yeah, I copied that off a scale plan too.
yeah, yeah. Rudder
You did
looks
it.
adequate.
What's that?
So the rudder looks adequate.
Yeah, the scale rudder would have been bigger actually.
Would it? Well, that just looks good. I think
That would
you
look
use
real
some
good.
rabies techniques on building that. You could have a very good looking.
Well,
almost
I mean, this is
scale.
a pretty small airplane compared to what Al was building. I
Well,
think
it
I'd
is.
probably put an Aero Tiger up here. It's only got
Yeah.
about a 50-inch wingspan, so
Well, you could scale it up a little if you want.
yeah, I could.
You could scale it up to about maybe a 55 or 56-inch
But then
wingspan.
you end up with what's his name? The guy that had the Spitfire, Mark Freeman.
Yeah.
You end up with his airplane.
Joe Adamushko,
No, his airplane's not that sleek.
you need to look at Joe Adamushko's airplane. It was huge.
Yeah, he had some nice ones too.
Yeah, Joe
Hey,
did.
Sparky, if you ever find those plans, hold on to them for me if you ever find them.
I think I threw them out.
Plans to
That's what
what?
you're saying. The 90 Spitfire.
Cousin, I think you did a good job.
Wendy's
Adamu-
Spitfire.
Yeah, Windy's yeah, the Adamusco Spitfire, the one with the dihedral, the last one.
The 91, it's huge.
I don't know if
That's
I've
for
got
the
that one or
Rojet
not.
90.
I've got one of them, but I don't think it's got dihedral.
I bet you can
No,
call
I've got that's the old one. Yeah.
another set.
I have the
Anyway,
originals from the Seafire and the Spitfire, the original ones, the 60 size ones.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
what
all
I've
the
got.
originals. I
I
have the
have plans
Velm,
for the
actual.
90. Anybody wants it? I have plans for the 90 Spitfire.
Do you?
Yeah, I bought them.
From Joe
That's
Adamus.
awesome.
Well, it's Ernowski's.
No, it's
Yeah,
not
that's the one. With the dihedral, right?
Let me see here. Does it have the dihedral? I think it does. Let me see real quick. Visible. Come on. Communication.
I had-
You can really tell from that view.
drawings, and I don't know what happened to them.
You moved too many times.
anyway, I gotta check out here. I've got to get ready for our fun fly tomorrow. So
Well,
I'll
go
see you
have
all
fun.
later.
Take
Take
care.
care of yourself, Mark, and go have fun.
Have fun.
I think he's got a good project started there, though.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yes, it does. It does look like it has dihedral. Not much, but it's got some.
Okay. That would be the one then.
Yep.
That's cool.
You got that
love
digital?
Yeah, I have it as PDFs. I bought the CD some years back.
Ah,
Now there are scans of hand drawings, so
Gotcha.
take that for what it's worth.
well,
Okay.
the nice thing of that is you can, if you want to get up a CAD drawing of it, you just import it into the CAD drawing and trace it over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
did one, just finished up one, just as an interesting side. It was a copy of a copy. I think it might have been a copy of a copy of a copy that somebody had worked on from the original hand drawing to the first CAD drawing with one CAD drafter, and then another CAD drafter did it again because the guy didn't like it. And now it's got to me because he didn't like what the second, or wasn't happy with the second.
Sounds like a mess.
Well, the thing is, the lines were quite thick, which is I liked. But what I did when I did the trace over, I went right to the center of the lines that were there, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so so anyway, the fuselage is a profile. Fuselage is supposed to use a 4-inch piece of balsa, 1/2-inch balsa, or 3/8-inch balsa. And I did a check on the widest part of the fuselage, and it was 4.170, which means that in those 3 iterations before I got it, it has been, I don't know what's been stretched in length as well, or if it's just in width, but something's not right. And so I sent what I had to the designer, and I'm waiting for him to get back to me. And I'm going to suggest that he give me the actual length and width of that fuselage and stuff like that, so I could get it back to where you can build it without having to splice on little pieces of wood here and there. I saw Steve looking at you. You're familiar with that, aren't you, Steve?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In a previous career, for a lot of the stuff that we did for floor plans and whatnot, all we had were old scans. So I'm more familiar with that than I really care to be.
Yeah, remember the program, the vector conversion programs they had on AutoCAD and others? You run it
Yeah.
through there, and it looked like a haystack coming out.
Oh yeah, where It'd be a nice, neat little drawing. You hit the little magic button, and you sit there and you wait for like half a day. It finally pops up, and you just see these lines going everywhere. You're like,
Huh?
what happened to my drawing?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I've seen that happen many times.
And now you know why I gave up trying to learn the CAD drawing.
Well, learning to do the CAD drawing is easy.
Mm.
Learning to do a scale or a trace over on an imported JPEG or PDF is easy. You just have to know the techniques.
And you
And
Well, I didn't. And the
And you
guy that
also
was
have
trying to
to,
teach me was such a perfectionist that it just talked me out of it pretty quick.
you also have to be able to infer what the designer was originally thinking. They're not going to go with 3.95 inches. It's probably 4. It's not the 4.017. It's probably going to be right at 4. You know,
right,
I call it easy measurements. Everybody tries to get things down to like a 16th or a 32nd, and that's usually good enough.
right.
So,
You get those little odd numbers, you
Yeah.
know that they're there.
yeah.
This is like if you can get it within an eighth of an inch, you're close enough.
Typically, yeah.
For the way most people build too, that's also true.
I tell
Yeah.
you what, I don't know if I agree with that or not, because
Okay.
I live on the East Coast, and I'm not going to say who the East Coast leading supplier of plans is, but a lot of the plans were drawn, looked like they were hand drawn
With the crayon,
to approximations. And you go to a contest and you see an airplane that you're flying, and you see somebody else with an airplane, and what is that supposed to be? What is that? Can't say what's it supposed to be. What is it? Oh, this is a
XX super snort.
okay. I'm telling you, is that some of the plans were, but it's
But you
hard.
know, Phil, for a long while, he was the only one that was any kind of a source for those plans.
You're right. That's the
And
only
as
choice
they
we had.
were, they at least got people building that airplane. Even
Well, there was a couple of them. Tom Dixon was one, but I'm talking about the other one.
oh,
Tom did some stuff that was kind of standoff scale, but this other one, I mean, he literally, I don't think he owned a straight edge. I think he hand drew everything.
Wow.
And it was bad. He wanted to draw plans to my Stinger. And he came out, he went out and took a bunch of pictures of the Stinger and then drew plans to it and built it himself. And I saw him in, I think it was Virginia Beach. I think it was Virginia. He's dead now. He's long gone now. But anyway, saw him in Virginia Beach with a plane. He had Stinger on the wing, and I thought, I didn't say anything, but I thought, what the heck is that? And it's supposed to be a Stinger, and the wing was, it was wider than mine. The ribs were wider than mine. They were thicker than mine. It was longer than mine. The wing tips were much more rounded, much more pronounced. The flaps were, I mean, they were cartoon big. It was so big when he popped up, the flaps were stalling the thing. You could see it. And I looked at Tom, and Tom and I looked at each other and said, that's supposed to be that? I don't think so.
That's his version.
Yeah.
Well, he powdered that sucker on a wing over. And I mean, it went into the asphalt, and that asphalt up there it's really concrete. But I mean, it's that is an airplane. That's a Navy field, whatever. When there's a big storm, they take the planes off the boats, ships, and land them inland to keep them safe. And
Yeah.
that's the base. Now, the Nationals were there one year at this facility. Now there's cracks in the runway an inch wide, and I'm not kidding. I got a wheel pant down in one, the whole wheel pant got down in one, and the wheel pant was still in the crack, and the rest of the plane jumped out. But anyway, it was a nasty place to fly. But I mean, when you hit the ground out there, that ground didn't give an iota. He flat powdered that airplane.
So you're saying it was kind of a mutant aberration that decided to off itself.
Well, I had built, it's a Stinger. The Stinger is really a SIG twister that's been redone, just to give you a basis. And I've been reading about the Sea Fury and how the big flaps made the wing much, it flies on the flaps. The Sea Fury did, supposedly. I'll shut up in a minute. Anyway, he tried to carry it one step further. I think the flaps are about 25% of the wing, and it just wouldn't fly.
Well, I tell you, that's the thing when you're redrawing somebody else's plan. Sometimes you see something, you know it's wrong or could be better, and you want to, and it's hard sometimes to resist the temptation to make changes. And I've learned it the hard way that it's best for me to draw it exactly as it was drawn on the plan that I have. Because if there's something wrong, then I can say, check against the plan that you gave me, and you'll find it's the same. I didn't make any changes.
What I did to try to help him, I told him, you do realize that started out as a SIG twister. And the only change in the wing airfoil, there's no change in the airfoil. The only change to the length of the wing is just the wing tips, and they're 1 inch larger on each side. 1 inch block, not 4, 1. The wing tips, I mean the flaps are 2 inches, but they come flat across the bottom, and then they curl up elliptically to the tip to be more like Al Raby's Sea Fury. But I mean, that was it. The rest of it was just curves, took the elevator and just curved it. I didn't add anything to it. I just curved it and made it more rounded. And, well, I did add something to it, about 1/4 or 1/2 an inch each side. But I asked him, just go measure the plane and go build you another one just like it. And Mike Garman came over, and Mike was a very witty individual. And he made a comment that I can't remember exactly what he said. But the guy went over and got his clipboard and a piece of paper and a pencil. And he sat down and he measured every bit of that doggone airplane. I don't think you believe me that it was a stock airfoil. It had turbulator spars. It's still hanging downstairs, but it's got turbulator spars, but otherwise it's a stock airfoil. And he went home and went and bought him a SIG kit and built another one. And the next time I saw him, he had a pretty reasonable facsimile of the Stinger. And he fussed at me. He says, I had to totally redo my darn plans. It's because your plans were wrong. Jeez. But anyway, we had a good time. We've always had a good time. But I still, you guys that were at Lynn, you were there at the Worlds. What'd you think of all the Sharknado? Man, I never seen. It reminded me of the 60s.
It is what it is. I mean, it is what it is, and they fly well and they work. That's all I gotta say about them. I can't say anything bad about them. They fly well and they work.
They fly great. I mean,
they're flying airplanes, and
the
Worlds
really
is
weird.
a different. Yeah, I mean, the Worlds is a very different thing. I realized very quick from the Nationals.
Amen.
It's not the same game at all. It's a totally different game.
They're really into the corners, aren't they?
No,
it's all about the hard corner.
The hard corner was it, but
dang.
I understand the Shark is nose heavy, and they use much more deflection and at different ratios. Some ratios,
yeah. The ratios between the elevator and the flap, yeah. The ratios between the flap and elevator are very different compared to most North American airplanes. It's just a very different deal.
Right.
Yeah, they don't use near as much flap as they do elevator, and it's
exactly.
It really does turn sharp though. Orestes, if you watch Orestes fly,
oh
man, he's something else.
But I heard they fly. They fly a little unstable in a level flight. Not unstable, but they and I don't know if you'd say they actually hunt. I don't know. I'd have to watch it more, but I heard that they didn't lock in
People
level
kept
flight.
telling me that, but the ones that we saw at the night at the Worlds, especially the ones that I was watching, Orestes and Lou, the girl, uh, they were amazing. What'd you
First
think?
wasn't a shark, it was a
I
Chinese.
agree.
It's a
Well,
Chinese copy of a shark. I asked the girl about it. She says
Right.
it's our version of the shark. Says we've cleaned it up a bit. In other words, English translation, the wing was a little longer. It narrowed a little quicker, and I think the flap ratio was a little different. The fuselage had an extra, instead of the chin spoilers, the two scoops on the side, there was one underneath to get more air in there. The air exit was a bit larger. Other than that, it was pretty much a shark. But they called it. She said this was the Type F.
well,
Well, I'll
Means
tell
there's
you,
been six versions of it.
right.
one thing I noticed
And
was
excuse
that
me, too, I was incorrect. It wasn't in the level flight. It was after they make that turn, it did a little funny flutter. So a lot of them I heard.
I didn't see many of them do that, John. Everybody
I
kept
didn't,
telling me about the funny corners, and they may have
I
been
didn't,
doing that when they first got there, but after they practiced, man, their corners were
yeah. Yeah, I didn't see any funny corners from Lou too often, except when it got
no.
really windy. But
She
her
was
corners were beautiful. They were absolutely beautiful. The corner was
the
just
only
like
problem.
so clean.
The only problem Lou had was when the wind came up.
Yeah, that's what
That
I
woman
said.
is about
Exactly.
90 pounds, and that's a big airplane. And that was,
Yeah,
as far as I can see,
she struggled when it got windy, but up till then, she was as good as any of them from what I
she
could
was as
see. And
good as anybody out there. She was amazing.
that's what I thought too. I agree with you 100%. I
Pre-med
watched a
student.
couple of her.
And
What's
her
Pre-med student.
pre-med, she's a
She's getting ready to be a doctor.
well, she's amazing.
Wow.
Her father was he's been on the Chinese team, and he was her coach. And they were talking through that microphone thing back and forth, but somebody had reported that was her brother. That's not her brother, that's her father. I asked, but they are amazing. I said, y'all make one heck of a team. And they were, people told me, oh, don't try to talk to the Chinese because they won't talk to you.
That's not true.
They were as nice as anybody on the field.
That's a fact, Jack.
Just as open and just as nice as they could be. I asked her about her handle, and she explained her handle to me, and she flies with the lines with 6 inches of asymmetry. Now she called it so many millimeters, but I looked it up, and it's about 6 inches of asymmetry in the line, so that the lines come out of the plane. The clips are at two different places, so they never come together. But
That's pretty common.
yeah, but she was as nice as she could be, and so was her dad. And that they both looked a lot younger than they were. I thought she was a teenager, and I thought he was young too, but that's her dad.
Her handler wasn't too cruel though.
No, the team dude was not that cool, but her dad, her coach, he was nice.
Yeah.
He answered my questions and everything, but the other guy thought I was asking too many questions. She turned around and said something to him in Chinese, and he looked at her funny, turned around, walked off, and went ahead and answered my question. So, but like I told him, as long as we're talking models, you get a bunch of modelers out here. I don't care where they're from. You get a bunch of modelers out here. We can talk models all day. Now you throw one politician in the mix, all bets are off. I don't know. I just the guy that teaches my fly tying class, it tries to be a politician, and he's trying to make a good Democrat out of me. That's never going to happen. That is never going to happen. I had to tell him, you can try all you want, but it's not going to work. I'm just not that corrupt, and I'm not that screwed up in the mind for you to believe some of the stuff you believe is just too far out there for me. But anyway.
What's up, Mark Weiss?
Mark,
hey buddy, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm post Nats and post World Championships and
And you lived through it.
lived through it. And if it happened again, I'd do it again. Just met so many nice people, and the team we had they just worked together so well. It was heartwarming, and
Yeah, it was a great show.
it was just a good event.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
now we're kind of back to the I got 3 or 4 Zoom meetings next week with Pampa committees and keep things going and make improvements along the way. So I think we're good.
Sounds
I
good.
think you're awesome. The Worlds was great, dude. I enjoyed it all.
Well, we did a good job, Joe. The team did well, and the volunteers did well, and everyone loved They loved the LPAD, and we had great cooperation from the maintenance people cutting the grass, and it just went well. And the surprises that came up, we had a couple of delays due to weather, and you make your best guess, and the guesses were pretty good.
I agree.
And
I
then
agree
we
too.
had you and 8 other guys doing the warm-up flights. And to have Paul with me was a huge help. And just everyone was just awesome. I mean, they were just awesome. So I'm finishing up some accounting work. Bill Lee's doing some work still. And I know AMA would like to have it back there. Just depends what the FAI is doing and, a lot of other things. But the weird thing is, and I guess it happens to other people too, maybe a couple of weeks before I went out to Muncie, I was out there, I think 17 days. And I was kind of dreading things. There's just so much going on. I was just saying, how did I get here? And then as the event went on, maybe at Wednesday of the Worlds, I started to get melancholy. I just realized it's got 3 days to go. Some of these people I'll never see again. And honestly, I wish it would have lasted another week. It was just a great experience. Those who didn't go, I'm sure they have good reasons why they didn't, but I think they missed something real special. That's where I am. Good to see you guys.
It was a lot of fun.
It was special. You're right.
We
It was
appreciate
very,
your
very
hard
good.
work, Mark.
There were so many good people there.
That's
If the
truth.
Chinese team came to your house, they were so gracious and nice. The Mongolians, the Australians, the Brazil, everybody. I was there all week, and
everybody.
I flew my little airplanes playing around the grass circles, and you go up there and people come up. Can we fly with you? Absolutely. I'm here to come on, and they're just people, man. The Brazilian guys were so much fun. The Australians, everybody. I can't badmouth anybody there. The Mongolian folks, those were fantastic. They were wonderful people.
Yeah. There were a lot of them stayed in the country. I ended up getting connected real quick with maybe 6 people who were there from other countries on Facebook. And one of our judges, who also was married to one of our tabulators, they went to Yosemite. So they really, they took advantage of the price of the flight and stayed in the country for a while. And I had a lot of fun with the German team. They were asking, where should we have dinner the next night? And they were just wonderful. And the Italian team was just a lot of fun. They had a really good pilot in Marco. And the flights that I saw at the end, I thought he deserved it. It's only a half-point difference. That's how incredibly close it was.
There was some good flying.
He got better every flight, seemed like.
Even like there was down to team racing. I think Philip, I can't remember the names, but we met them in 2011 in France years ago. And the same daddy and the mother and the 2 kids were team racers. They're just people, man. It was just it was good times, man. Good times for me.
Absolutely. It's funny you mentioned that, Joe, and I may have said this before, so if I did, I apologize. I was staying in the same hotel as the Chinese team, Bruce and I, and it must have been Thursday. They got in right before me, and as I'm walking out of the parking lot, they stopped me and they had some gifts for me, which was really nice. And one of them said, we'd like to have you come to China. And, you seem to know what you're doing and people like you, and we want to put on some events. And, I said, of course I would. But they did say, as we were getting into the elevator, the same thing that Joe was talking about, and Phil, they said to me, our countries will never be friends, but we have something in common that shouldn't prevent us from getting together, and that's model airplanes. And that was a great comment. I'm not sure if I'd have the nerve to say what he did. You just never know who's listening. But it was a great spirit, and
It was
great.
When we were in France in 2018, the same young man that got third, the Chinese junior, he was in France. And I played hand games, took penny out of his hand and slapped his hands and had a good time. Mom and Dad was there. We visited. And I'd take that penny out of his hand and Daddy'd give him some Chinese nonsense. And he put his hand back out again. And I said, does he want to learn how to do it? And he said something Chinese. The kid said yes. So I taught him how to do that, practice. So we did that again here too. But they're just people, man. And when I walked up, hello, Joe, how's Colleen? You guys doing well? They remembered us, man. They're just people, y'all. They're just people.
Well, yeah,
So
and
y'all are actually kind of unforgettable.
the problem isn't the people in the world; it's our governments.
Yes.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth, John?
And that young man can fly.
Yeah, he
No
came.
doubt.
Joe, he came over to me right before it ended, and he said you owed him 75 cents.
I can pay off. I'll pay.
Now I
Come on.
understand what he was talking about.
Dude, I took that penny out of his hand and he just looked at me like, what the? Put his hand back out and I took it again and Daddy started talking Chinese too, giving him rashes stuff, and I said, does he want to learn how to do it? And I taught him the trick how to do it, and that was fun. And they're just people, man. But his wife, the young man's dad's wife didn't come, but the dad speaks very good English. And at the banquet, Colleen had some little fans, so we signed them and we walked over and says, could we give the young man a fan with our name on it just for remembrance? And heavens, yes, Joe, please do. I didn't know how they would take having a USA flag, but they were very receptive to that. And they gave us little wooden fans and trinkets and goodies. And they could come to my house, Mark Weiss, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a heartbeat. Yep. Wouldn't think twice.
That's awesome.
Good stuff. Len, it was good seeing you fly. You flew well, buddy.
Oh, thank you very much, Mark. Much appreciated. Everybody seems to have said the same thing to me, so I really do appreciate it, guys. Hey, I flew the best I could. That's all I can do.
Oh, you can do
well.
My equipment worked. I was very happy with the way I did, and I have no complaints about anything. It was really well run. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Everything was outstanding. Naomi and I had a great time. We really, really did. You guys just did an awesome job. Everybody who was there.
Well,
one of the best events I think it's one of the best events we've ever been to.
Well, that's awesome.
If not the best.
It's always the things you don't think about that happen. And one of the real joys I had was getting to know Len's wife. Because there she was live and in person. And we just had the best time busting on each other, and it was a place. They were pretty close to the pavilion that I would always stop and talk and listen, and it was just that's worth it all. You can see airplanes fly anywhere, but it's who's flying an airplane. It's who's flying
the people.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
it, Joe.
Remember
Good
that?
stuff.
Remember that?
The people are what make it.
Remember that big Chinese flag that they were flying down there at their little encampment?
Yes.
They gave it to me.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
Wow, that is nice.
Yeah.
Now you know you're on the no-fly list now.
Yeah, no doubt.
You should have signed them all up for the Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they introduced a stun hanger. They didn't. I mean, they didn't know about it because I guess they have a hard time getting YouTube there.
That could be. That could be. You just reminded me, Sparky, of a couple of things that, as I said, that you don't anticipate. I guess it was maybe Tuesday morning, and one of the wives who's just been awesome said to me, you know, Mark, some of these people don't have a lot of money. How about if I go out and buy some finger food, buy some stuff that people can come in here and just take? She said, could you cover that? I said, sure, I will. So she said, how about bananas? And I said, I think bananas are great. So she said, I was thinking like of 100. So I just started laughing. And I said, that's fine. I just can't imagine going into a grocery store and asking for 100 bananas unless I had a chimpanzee or something. But she came back with all the good stuff. And I'll tell you, it went. People were appreciative. You know, grab a banana, grab an apple. So there were some candy bars there.
Awesome.
It's just, you know, you got to wing it every morning. I think every morning, Paul and I would face something that, oh, you know, that either we didn't anticipate or changed. And one of my first things was the first morning, several of the judges said, is there coffee out here? And I said, no, but I can get some. And they said, no, you don't have to do that. I said, do you want coffee? I said, well, yes, we do. And I figured if there's a group of people to be happy, that's the group. Keep the judges happy. So the first day, I just went down to the 12th Street Diner and grabbed, I don't know, 6 or 7 cups. And then the next day, my roommate, Bruce, who was awesome in his role, and he also flew real well in the Nats, he would stop every morning at Dunkin' and get a carton. So, you know, as I put my expenses together and you see there's like $190 for coffee, you know, and $78.50 for 100 bananas. And it's, but you know what? People appreciate it. It's the little things, you know, it's just the little things that make a big difference.
It also makes it more memorable.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you things. Thank you things for doing the little stuff. It's a big deal, Mark. I didn't hear anybody badmouth stuff. Nobody. All the
Nobody
competitors
about nothing.
Nobody. And, you know, I heard lots of competitors saying, my gosh, this is so great. You got places to grass circles to fly. And I don't know how much you got down to the grass circles, Mark, but there's people flying the grass a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
For sure. For sure.
John Paris has a real good relationship with Roger from the maintenance crew. And they were awesome. They were just awesome.
They were fantastic, y'all.
Yeah.
That's the best the place has ever looked, bar none.
Yep. It really looked good. And I'll tell you what else, Joe, it made me feel good about the work that some of us had done to get the LPAD redone.
That was fantastic.
Because everyone who came, as soon as they walked out there, you know, they've never seen anything like that. You know, I got more compliments about, so did Paul, about, you know, the conditions that they're flying under, how big it was,
Unbelievable.
what a beautiful site it is, and they don't have property like that.
Nobody.
You know, nobody. I think you'll see it in China. I think they were very careful about what they were looking at. They have the money. Those people practiced together for 30 days before the event.
I think they live together almost.
Yeah,
I think they're the camp. You know,
That's awesome.
It's like previous times, they actually don't work at anything else but
Yes.
flying. That's
Yep.
their job. That's where they get their, you know.
Absolutely.
with the
Yeah.
Mongolian, one of the guys named Bat. He was the little guy's dad.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Besa, his dad's Bat, I think, and he is an aircraft engineer. So we were down having dinner one day, cleaning out the little tent, and they showed up. We visited, and I said, well, what do you do for a living, Bat? He said, aircraft engineer in Mongolia. I said, you work on airplanes? Yes. I said, okay, cool. I said, Besa, trade me chairs. So we traded chairs. I started showing my hangar, my airplanes, and Bat says, engine, Lycoming. Yes, Lycoming. Rotex, yes, Rotex. And Rolls Royce. Oh, okay, Rolls Royce. But and we were talking about trimming airplanes and stuff. And I said, well, I have to use sticks and stuff to trim with. He says, I have laser beams, Joe. And I said, oh my gosh, he got laser beams to trim your airplanes with.
That's
But they were
awesome.
pretty serious about it. And they have a beautiful flying site, and they're going to do a World Cup in 25.
Yes.
And they're hoping to get their facilities fixed up good enough that they can have the Worlds in Mongolia in 30. Wouldn't that be cool? I
That'd
mean,
be
get
great.
race
Wow.
circles. You got to have speed circles, race circles, nets, and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
they've got a nice place to fly, I understand.
That'd be great. I hope I'm around for that.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? It was so cute. The little girl, Naomi, I think her name was, and all those kids knew each other well. And she was out there flying, and she turned around, she karate chopped base in the head and flew off inverted, come back over in the wing over and karate chopped his head and flew off level again. He just stood there and took it. You know, it was so cute. Karate chop, fly level. They were having a good time, man. They did well. The whole thing was wonderful.
You know, when you think about it, I mean, these are a whole bunch of people paying a fortune to
That's
get
correct.
to the country to fly in the ultimate precision aerobatic event in the world.
That's exactly
But
right.
but no one was acting like a jerk. No one was acting like, you know, they're better than the others.
Oh no, I didn't.
You know, there was
never
none of
saw
that.
it.
No,
Never saw that.
nope.
Never
And,
saw it.
that was pretty, you know, that the things just lined up right. It was just one of those times, and it was worth it all. It was worth it all.
Maybe we should decide world events with model airplane contests.
Oh my goodness.
Get Ukraine and Russia, you know, have a big model contest.
Well, I don't know where it'll be next. I got to be pretty good relationship with the 3 FAI jury members, which was very new to me. Paul, of course, was familiar with it. And they're the ultimate authority at the event. And there were a couple of times that twice I called meetings that were on no one's calendar because I just didn't like a couple of things that were going on. And they were very supportive. This had to do basically with electric powered airplanes. And it was just a great relationship. And the third is a guy I knew anyway, who Dave Lindley does a fantastic job at the Free Flight Association. I mean, that group's got 1,700 members. You know, obviously the guy is smart and he's doing something well. But it gave me a chance to get to know him better. He was very complimentary about everyone in the contest. And, you know, it's all those things you never think about that I think make it great. So, yeah, all good. All good. Some of you have been to Brodak. I just want to give you an update. Will and I stay close to Buzz. Honestly, not because we have to, we just like to. And yesterday, either yesterday or the day before, she had knee replacement surgery.
Oh, did she?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she did. And but her spirits, she always one-ups me. I've given up trying to one-up her.
It's the
And
nature of the beast, man.
yeah, so she told me that she's having some other issues with her vision and her balance. And she said sometimes it just makes her moving herself around challenging. So I said, well, Buzz, next year you can judge expert. You'd be perfect. You know, you can't see and you can't focus. You'll be a perfect judge. So she ended it with this story to me. She said, you probably don't know this, but did you know that when God created woman, he gave her 3 boobs? So I just started laughing right away. And I said, I didn't know that. And she said, oh, yeah, yeah. And you know, she said, I could prove it because when you look at a woman at the top of her chest, there's a space between the 2. And she said, that's where the 3rd one used to be. That's what God did. So then she says, but, you know, it just didn't work out. And it was cumbersome, and so, but God solved the problem. So I said, well, what did God do? So she said, well, God took the extra boob and created man. So
I knew that was coming.
I knew it was coming too.
so I said, you're doing okay. You're doing all right. So, we'll be back there this next year, and hopefully all the great contests coming up. And I know a whole bunch of people are going to Las Vegas, and there are just so many contests coming up, and that's great. That's great. Keep them flying, boys.
It's awesome.
So, Phil, did you get the plans that I sent to you? Okay.
I didn't get them yet, but I've been sick this week. I got to feeling bad Sunday night, and Monday went to the doctor, and they told me I had the big C. So
Okay.
I'm getting over it. They get that. If y'all think you're getting sick, go get checked. I'm telling you, that Paxlovid, I felt better from the first time I took the stuff.
Yeah.
It made me feel so much better.
Well,
But
let me know. They should have gotten to you. They should be in your stack of stuff there.
oh God, oh man, I bet I've got 100 emails here to go through from this week, at least 100. Everything from a high school alumni site to, oh brother, I will, if it didn't come through, I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Okay.
Got to be a little careful nowadays. Say the big C, it can mean a couple different things.
Well,
Yes.
COVID. Oh God, yeah. My wife has
Yeah,
had the other.
that's why
Yeah,
when you
no.
said it, I was just like, oh no.
No.
Yeah.
I had COVID. Well, I feel like I'm over it now, but COVID. And it was just a
Chinese
really
cooties.
bad, in my case, it was just a really bad sinus infection. And my wife got it right behind me. She's taking care of me, and she got it. Now my daughter's got it. She was trying to cook for us and take care of us. And so it's been a mess this week. But it's really it with the proper medication, it's not been as bad as it could have been. So we're gonna be fine. We'll be as mean as ever, given a day or two to give it up. The only problem I've had, the only really problem I've got left is to just get tired so easy, and I get dizzy. I don't know why, but I'm getting dizzy real easy. But we'll get through it. It'll be all right. Might take a week or two, but I'll get through it. It's supposed to be at a contest in the morning in Roanoke Rapids. All my guys have gone, and I'm gonna miss it. I understand Kermit had a factory, a 10-year reunion for a factory he opened, and he's gone to that in Ohio, and I'm here at home, but everybody else from this area has gone to Roanoke Rapids that I know of. And I hope Tom Wiedemann has a good contest. He's a great guy. And last year it was a good contest. This year it should be even better. So we'll hope for the best on that one. But things are working. Things are working out. It'll be all right. Gary, don't go to sleep now. Uh-oh, too late.
Anyway,
Too late. But no, everything's lovely. I'm just glad to see Mark's got through everything, and he's still got a sense of humor in his head on straight, and his hair is not completely white.
And he's smiling.
Yeah.
It's thinner but that's okay. That's all right.
Give me that garbage. You came through it fine. Y'all had the plan and all figured out. Time you got to it, you had it all covered up.
He had the right people at the right place, Phil.
Boy, he did.
Just did.
you're
From the
reaching
pull
the point.
testers up, man.
You're
Well,
reaching
yeah,
the point
exactly.
of your life, Mark, that like they said, God only created a few perfect heads. The rest of them he covered with hair. You're starting to lose yours. That put you in good stead.
There you go.
Tell you what,
I think he was
But,
wrong, but
I've seen oh, I definitely don't have a perfect one. Mine's been bounced around too many times.
Well, look at Len as an example. My goodness,
What are we looking at? Oh,
perfect head, perfect skull.
no, I don't know about that. It's been
I'm-
banged around quite a bit.
No
Oh,
comment.
gosh. It's been banged around a little too much, my skull. Oh, man.
Yes.
Hey, John, you know, if you're willing to cut that beard, you could cover most of Len's head.
You know,
There you go.
I
Can
could.
you imagine?
But it'd be
Just
white,
imagine.
you know.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Lord.
Let it
Always good.
alone. Leave it alone.
Yeah, let it go. Let
Unbelievable.
that
Let it go.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
Oh,
You,
Let
you
me
guys
tell you.
cut that out or I'll come back down there and I'll fly better.
some
oh.
try, some do, and some never make it.
Joe, I'll
Well.
never forget your line. If you want to do better, fly better.
Fly
I'll never
better, baby.
forget it. Fly
That's
better.
how That's how
You're
it
not
runs.
happy, fly better.
If you want
That's
better
right.
scores, fly better stunt. That's how it runs.
That's right.
not me.
Exactly.
That's what Bob
I
Hunt
say
said.
it all
He
the
said-
time.
Bob Hunt says, practice and flying and get it so good that you can't be denied.
That's
Right.
that's it. That's Richard
exactly
Allers. Fly
it.
so good they can't deny you. That's the key.
Yep.
That is the secret to stunt, boys. I agree 100%. If you
I
don't
wish I
like
could
your
do it.
scores, fly better.
I wish I could do it. I just flew for the judges for warm-ups, and I gave them a lot to talk about. That one day in the wind when they started late, I went up to Mark and Mark Overman. I said, dude, I've already had one practice flight. If they just want to do one flight, it's no big deal for me not flying because I've done one and I'm good with it. If they want to get started early. So he said, well, Kenny didn't show up. We'll let you know. So I went back, sit in the tent pretty soon. Paul combined said, dude, he said, Joe, you're on. I said, well, okay then. So the chairs were blowing over, and I'm thinking, holy crap, I'd just soon not fly anyhow right now. You want to know the truth? I'd already offered, so I had to go do it. So I went and flew. And I told Clay, I says, honey, the goal is not to crash. You know,
That's
holy
right.
man. The
Don't bust the
chairs
toy.
were blowing over, guys. It was blowing. I'm thinking, holy crap.
Okay.
So I
Don't
landed.
bust the toy.
You did
And-
good, Joe. I watched that flight. You did
That
good.
flight, I watched it on video, and I wasn't too embarrassed about that. I was okay with it. But you know, in the FAI, they want you to go one lap from the stop it when the engine goes, you touch down one lap. Well, it anted right in front of the judges, and I said, "Screw that crap! I ain't going around." And I walked toward that burger and hot landed it downwind and rolled to a stop. And in the video, I heard people cheering and clapping. I never heard it, dude. I wandered off that circle bad. I just went straight, got my airplane clean, carried the handle, and we got off of there. Holy mackerel. I was glad to be on the ground.
You did
Yeah.
good.
And this coming from one of the best dancers I've ever seen, the center of the circle.
Son, it was blowing. And it got better as time went by. The front of this went through, I think, and it got better. But Dennis News said, he says, I was glad to be on the ground too. I said, me too, dude. By the time they started, it was still blowing. Was it blowing 10 or 12, Mark, by the time they
Yeah.
started?
Yeah.
But it was blowing 16 to 20 probably when we warmed the judges up. And I'm thinking, just don't crash.
It was howling pretty good, that's for sure.
So, dude, but the whole, I can't give Mark and Paul enough credit, and Bill Lee too. I mean, the whole thing I thought was the FAI's got you do this, this, and this, never this, that, this. And it has to be done that way. And they accomplished their feats well, in my opinion.
Yep.
And a lot of competitors. I mean, I wouldn't say I talked to everybody there, Mark, but I talked to a fair share of them. You know, that's me. I just got to go visit. And there's nobody bad mouthing, no competitors bad mouthing that thing. None of them.
That's
No,
awesome.
I didn't hear anybody say anything but good things.
Yep, me too.
The only
And I was out there.
complaint one of the foreign guys had that I heard, he said, the only thing wrong with this whole show, he said, we don't have this field in our country.
Yeah. It was America looked good that week, in my opinion, y'all.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too.
And Bill Lee and Mark and all the Bishop, all the CDs, Van Sant, Bishop, Mark, all of them. I think
The
were
Bears.
Mears, all of them good. The right people at the right place at the right time, Lynn, in my opinion.
Yeah. It was good.
I'll never see another in America, probably. If they do another and I'm alive and Colleen wants to, we're going. It's just It's a special thing to see. I can't explain it quite.
Sort
It's a
of like
little
the
bit
Olympic-
patriotic, Glenn. And it's patriotic for America, for Canada, for Australia, for Germany, for every
Most
country.
definitely.
You know,
Most definitely.
it's
For
just
control line is
patriotic
the
for
Olympics.
everybody.
It's the Olympics for control line.
It is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is.
And
Yeah.
they're proud to be there. I mean, you know, like Jake and flew for Singapore, and Jake and Steve walked in, and
Yeah.
Tryon walked in. It's a good thing to see, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to see. We need more of that in the world.
Yeah, we do.
I agree.
We do.
Okay, I have to get going here shortly. Family duties and whatnot. Who is it that was wanting the Spitfire 90 plans or was asking about it?
Well, that would be me, Len.
Okay.
I'm looking for. Do you
As
have
in
a way
Wendy
of sending
plans?
that? Yeah, the Windy plan.
Yeah, I got them. I can
That'd be
I can
awesome.
send them. You can hit me up on over on
I'll
Stun
send you
Hanger.
a PM. I'll send you a PM. How's that?
Okay, that works. That works.
And we'll figure it out from there.
All right, guys. Let me close this out on YouTube. We got our relief pitcher here, Denny. I'm turning it over to you. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Let me get to the YouTube side here. It's always an ordeal. YouTube Studio. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. We do these Hangouts every Monday and Friday at 7 Central. They got to figure that 7 Central USA time. Appreciate you watching. Fair winds. Oh, shoot. I got to get in here. Tight lines. We'll see.
Thanks, Sparky.
Thanks, Sparky.
Thanks,
All right.
Sparky.
On YouTube, I'm going to turn this over to our